The gentleman needs to unmute.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to take 30 seconds to correct the record. The Representative Fox suggested that this absurd suggestion that Planned Parenthood was somehow conceived to encourage abortions in the African American community. I suggest reading an 8th grade history book as a starter. First of all, abortion wasn't even legal when Planned Parenthood was founded in the 1930s, 1919. Originally, it was founded to encourage birth control by Margaret Sanger. And W.E.B. Du Bois, one of the great civil rights leaders, was an advisor to Sanger. So, you know, it's fine to have ideological differences, but it is really sad that people are saying things that are a misreading of American history. Frankly, pretty unpatriotic that you don't take the time to read American history and are creating false impressions. And this is why I think, you know, I'm such a believer in civic education, historic education. And it's sad to me my colleagues wouldn't just open up an 8th grade history book first to get some basic facts. With that, let me turn to Dr. Scupp. Dr. Scupp, do you believe that homosexual behavior should be criminalized?
Where did that come from?
No, of course not.
Okay, and do you believe that same-sex marriage is okay? I mean, illegal, or are you against same-sex marriage?
You know, at this point, I think our country has decided that decision, and I really have no opinion to weigh in.
You wouldn't be opposed to it, though? It wouldn't be something you strongly oppose?
Well, I think that what you're talking about is activity.
It's just a simple yes or no, Dr. Scupp. I'm not trying to trick you. I mean, are you neutral towards it, against it, for it? Legally, do you think we should have people should have the legal right to same-sex marriage?
Well, I think they do. So
and you're fine with that? You think that's fine?
That is a decision our country has made, and
okay. Well, I guess my question is because do you support the Texas Right to Life group?
I'm not sure. Are you asking me if I financially support, or
no,
if I just support?
I mean, are you sympathetic to what?
Well, I think there are differences.
Yes or no, Dr. Scupp? Are you sympathetic to? I mean, I assume.
There are differences of opinions within the pro-life community, just as I'm sure there are within the pro-choice community. I think they did a heroic thing. And again, I'm proud that Texas is the first state that's been able to
so here's my question
enforce
for you.
a restriction.
And I hope you will condemn this because former Texas Solicitor General Jonathan Mitchell, who has filed an amicus brief on behalf of this group, Texas Right to Life, in the Dobbs case, the group that you describe as heroic. And the brief argues that, quote, homosexual behavior and same-sex marriage are, quote, court-invented rights. These rights, like the right to abortion for Roe, are judicial concoctions, and there is no source of law that can be invoked to salvage their existence. The amicus brief is asking the court to overturn Lawrence v. Texas and Obergefell, meaning basically they want to criminalize homosexual behavior again, and they want to take away same-sex marriage. Can you today unequivocally denounce that amicus brief and say how embarrassed you are given your beliefs that they would put something like that to the Supreme Court?
I really have no opinion on that statement. I don't think it relates to the issue of abortion.
Well, of course it does. They're putting an amicus brief in the name of Texas Right to Life, and part of their argument for overturning Roe versus Wade is linked to issues of LGBTQI equality. Does that concern you that groups in the name of defending SB 8 are trying to overturn Obergefell and Lawrence?
I really have no opinion on that. I wonder, could I clarify what Congresswoman Fox said that you mentioned about Margaret Sanger?
You can do that on someone else's time,
okay.
But I really want to know if you don't find any embarrassment in the fact that you have briefs written in part of the pro-life movement that are basically advocating for the criminalization of homosexuality. Are you even aware of that these briefs are being written seeking that in the court, in the case law?
I don't see how that pertains. I would imagine there are briefs written in support of Roe that may contain facts that you might find potentially controversial.
This is central to the legal
Madam Chair,
argument.
his
Professor-
time's expired.
The
Perhaps
gentleman's time
Representative
has expired.
Khanna could
Gentleman's
suggest having
time
a
has
hearing
expired.
on homosexuality after your hearings on white supremacy and
Does the gentleman yield back?
Order,
Time
whatever
has
else
order.
we're going
expired.
to do that has
Madam
nothing to
Chair,
do with
Madam
oversight.
Chair, I have a point of parliamentary inquiry.
The gentlelady's recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, with respect to the gentleman from Louisiana, my understanding of the way we run this committee is that it is the chair that decides when an individual's time has expired, and the gentleman should have his mic muted and is out of order when chiming in to tell you when someone's time has expired.
Yes, you're right.
Isn't that correct?
You are correct.
So
Good
I
lady,
would ask.
the gentleman from Louisiana didn't speak.
Excuse me, the floor is mine at the moment. Forgive me if I made reference to the wrong person, but whoever has been calling out is out of order, Madam Chair, and it is you that controls the time and tells members when their time has expired.
Well, we're all trying
that
to
correct?
stick. We are all trying to stick to the 5-minute rule.
Okay, I would just ask that members refrain, or you make sure members refrain from telling you when that is, and that we follow procedure so that you can manage the time. Thank you.
Thank you. The gentlewoman from South Carolina, Ms.